everyone. We're here in my office in Village Hall. I'm Mayor Sandra Bury, and with me today is Douglas Wright. Douglas, you are the General Manager of the South Cook County Mosquito Abatement District, and I didn't even know there was such a thing. Thank you so much for coming. And,
you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
We're going to talk about things that bug us, and that would be mosquitoes. If any of you read your tax bill in really fine detail, you'll see a little line item for the mosquito abatement. And can you tell me what that is?
Yes, we strictly control mosquitoes in our district, and the people that would be taxed is anybody living south of 87th Street in Cook County. We have a huge district. It's 340 square miles.
Holy cow.
And if you live in that area, you will be assessed a tax for that.
Yeah, so that's a huge area. How many municipalities would you say? It's got to be dozens.
Yes, we have 53 municipalities.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, all or some. Some we just have partial areas in, but it's 53 in total.
Well, I couldn't be more thrilled that you're finding time with that huge area you have to take care of to come to Oak Lawn and help educate our residents about how to stay safe in the summer. It's wonderful to see the trees starting to bud and spring is coming and the rain comes, and with that comes mosquitoes. And mosquitoes tend to like it very damp, correct?
That's correct. You know, mosquitoes used to be more of a nuisance than anything else, but in the last 12 years or so we've been in trouble with West Nile, so we take it serious as a health concern as well as a nuisance. The summer in this parts of the country are short, and people would like to get out and enjoy, so we want to make it as enjoyable as it can the short period of time that they do have.
So you send crews out to the different areas and you identify where water is stagnant, correct, or not flowing? Is that?
That is correct.
And what do you do then when you identify that? How do you proceed?
Okay, our operators go out, they inspect the area for mosquito larvae. If larvae is found, they will treat it depending on what stage they're in and what the habitat is. If it's around schools or in sensitive areas, then we use a bacteria that is natural and very safe in the environment. All of our insecticides are registered and with the EPA for this usage, but we do use bacteria in more sensitive areas. And mosquitoes are easier to kill when they're in the water. They're going to be there for a period of time, and we would apply a material to the water to kill the mosquito larvae.
So when a mosquito lays eggs, how long does it take for that egg to become an adult?
That depends on the temperature, Mary.
Really?
Yes. In warmer temperatures, a mosquito can go from egg to a flying adult within 7 days, possibly.
Wow.
Yes. So it is important for us to get out in a timely manner, and we do have some young college students that work with us during the summer, so we can make these rounds. We try to make our rounds within 7 to 10 days. The more rain we have, of course, the more work we have upon us.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so you deal with all the public areas that are out there, all the, you know, the parks or where the water is going through. In Oak Lawn, most people don't know, but we have Stoney Creek, which is buried under part of the village. It actually is underground as it goes past the hospital, past the Hilton, and it goes right kind of past Village Hall here before it is back out in the surface again. So that's probably a very exciting place for mosquitoes because they don't have a lot of predators and they can.
Yes, it is. I'm very familiar with Stoney Creek, and it do become a problem certain times of the year. If the flow is restricted or if it's a dry season, then mosquitoes will breed in there. If it's a rapid flow to the creek, then we don't have much problems, only in little small tributaries. But we do ask the public too not to obstruct the creek flow because that can cause us a problem.
So some people might want to put stepping stones across or something. That's not a good idea. We want to keep the flow going.
We want to keep the flow going, whether it's stones or grass, branches, or some people dumping things there.
Oh, yeah, we can't have
we
that.
want to discourage that.
Yeah, we can't have that. We
Right.
can't have that. And then on people, their own property, their own homes, what can they do to protect their family from mosquitoes?
Well, we also come on public and private property.
Okay.
We do our golf courses, we go into the cemeteries, which there are a lot of them in the south
Yeah.
suburb area here. So we concentrate on those areas too. But the private residents, we ask them to give an inspection of their yard. Make sure there's no water holding containers there. Whether it's children toys, if they collect water, make sure it's dumped. Store things upside down. If you own a boat, use a boat cover or store it so the plug is out and water will run out of it. If there is a cover, make sure there's no leaves collecting and water sitting there, because mosquitoes will breed on boat covers,
Yeah.
on swimming pool covers, anything of that nature.
When you said it takes a week to go from the egg to the adult in the heat of summer, I can't even imagine. You know, everyone has their little kiddie pool out and they think, oh, I'll just top it off. Or you may have a neighbor who's not as meticulous with their pool as could be. It's a big problem. So
This is a problem, and in some of our communities, and Oaklawn happened to be one of them, there are some backyard catch basins. We have a list that we come out and we put a slow release tablet in these basins, even on people's property. And if you have one of those on your property, feel free to call the district. We will come out personally, add you to the list, and we will use either a 140-day briquette that will slowly release an insecticide that will take care of that for this period of time. And we will come back, depending on what time it is, and retreat these areas.
now, if someone has like a backyard pond, like a koi pond, or you see these little water features that people put in, you know, how is that a big problem? How do they?
It can be if it's not taken care of, if it gets stagnant. Commercially, there is things available that they could put in, but we also will come out and inspect that. If this pond is aerated, then it's less of a problem. If it have fish in it, fish will eat mosquito larvae, so that wouldn't be a problem. But if it's stagnant, if there's excess lily ponds or debris in there, it will produce mosquitoes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, the habitat around the water also determines, in addition to the things you do, birds, for example, will eat mosquitoes, right? I've heard they can eat a lot of mosquitoes in the summer, and it's good to have birds around to.
Well, that is true to a certain extent, but it's not very effective.
Yeah.
Yes. One thing that we can say is if you have a bird bath, I have one at my residence, weekly, you know, remove the water, put fresh water in it, and rinse it out. Also gutters, Mayor, people don't realize it, but as a child, we used to call them whirlybirds or helicopters.
Oh, yeah.
These seeds will come down and plug your gutters. It will restrict the rain flow, and mosquitoes will breed in gutters. So we ask the residents to also maintain their gutters and clean them from seeds off of trees in the
Yeah,
spring.
I didn't even think of that.
Yes.
Didn't even think of that. So.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Also, I love plants, and I have plants outside. You know, some plants we move from the inside outside in the summer. And mosquitoes are very opportunistic. Even the small saucer or tray under there that holds water, they will reproduce in there. So we have to be mindful and look at anything that water will stay for any length of time.
So it could just be a small amount of water.
A small amount. I mean, I've seen them as small as the water in a water cup bottle. So it's very little. They're very opportunistic, and that's why it's such a job to do mosquito control.
Now, how long does the adult live usually?
Well, that depends on species, but if we have a large outbreak of mosquitoes, usually they start deteriorating within a week and a half or so, you know. But it depends on the species, and
Wow.
we go from there.
So the mosquitoes just themselves aren't the problem. It's the fact that they go in and live off of blood. So they would live off your pet's blood, your own blood, anyone who has a mosquito bite. You know, they've actually gone in like a little syringe.
Right.
And so this is a problem with disease, obviously. And West Nile virus, what is that?
Yes, well, West Nile virus we've been dealing with since, I think it came to the States in the late 90s, and we started having a problem with it in '02. One thing that's kind of contradictory about it, you know, we stress using mosquito repellent, but the mosquito that transmit West Nile is not, it prefers hot, drought conditions and stagnant water. So generally during this period of time, people are not using mosquito repellent because it hasn't been raining. You don't have the nuisance mosquito, which is really an aggressive biter and an annoyance. So at a time when you should really use mosquito repellent, because of the possibility of West Nile, you don't have the mosquito activity. So it's really contradictory, yes.
Okay, okay. Now, is it true that only the female mosquitoes bite?
That is true, and they need the blood to develop their eggs. That's why the mosquitoes bite.
I just,
Yes.
I heard that, I didn't know if I believed it or not. So, insect repellent, so I'm a homeowner in Oak Lawn and I want to keep my family safe, so there's no stagnant water around my house and my bird bath is refreshed all the time. When you talk about insect repellent, I go to the store and I just never know what to pick. There's some that are lotions, some that are sprays, some that have no DEET, some have DEET, some have catnip oil, who knows, you know. What's a good mosquito repellent?
There are several out there. Personally, I use repellent with DEET. And the higher percentage, the more effective it is. If it's 20% DEET or in that range, it's very effective. But there are other insect repellents out there that works. And there's a list on the CDC website with recommendations and things, but in all repellents.
Put up on our, it'll be down here, hopefully.
Yes,
We'll
on the
edit
screen.
it on the
Yeah.
screen, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I would suggest going to that.
How about these wristbands you see, or these, they're like electronic things that plug in and they emit gas? How do those work? And are those effective? Are those just as good as something you wear on your body?
For reading reports on those different things, they're not as effective. There's a lot of different products out there, so I'm not familiar with all of them. But I myself, being in the mosquito business for over 40 years, I prefer just a product with DEET. Yes.
So you've brought some brochures that we're going to have available at Village Hall, and we'll get this information on our website. And it identifies other diseases besides West Nile, which we're all familiar with. I didn't know heartworm was transferred by mosquitoes.
Yes, anyone with pet lovers, they know a lot of veterinarians now are giving them preventive pills, but mosquitoes do transmit dog heartworm. And in rare cases, people have came down with dog heartworm also, with heartworm.
It would be a bad day.
Yes, yes.
That would be no fun. And then, you know, I see a condition that affects horses, and there's a new one this year that's made the news quite a bit. It started, I guess, in the Caribbean area. It's called the Zika virus.
Yes.
Can you tell me what that is?
Yes, it's a virus. It's a flavory virus, but Zika has been around for many years. But it has just had a big outbreak in Brazil. It is starting in Brazil. And there's a lot of worry because of the Olympics that's going to be held. Also because of what this virus do to fetuses and young babies. Is causing undeveloped brain and smaller heads. So there's really a concern, and they are recommending that any female that are going to be traveling to Brazil, if she's planning on being pregnant or is pregnant, they recommend them not going.
Okay.
Here in the States, we don't have as big a problem. There's a report out now, spring break, we're going to have a lot of college students traveling to these different parts of the country. And so a lot of universities are giving out warning how they can protect themselves as they travel to these places where Zika is prevalent. Also, when they bring that back here, there is chances for certain parts of the state that this can be locally transmitted. At this time, we only have these diseases with people that have traveled abroad or have came back with the virus and had sex with their partner. So it's transmitted sexually also.
Okay, oh boy.
Yes.
So you never know.
No.
So in Cook County, have there been any cases from mosquitoes with that virus?
No. Fortunately, the mosquito that known transmitter and the high transmitter of this virus is not located here. It can't overwinter here. The winters are too severe. It's more of a tropical, subtropical mosquito.
Good.
Last week they came out, which has really bothered me, is a mosquito that can live here. The virus was isolated in a lab in this salivary gland. So these are some things that we're watching. And the thing that we have to understand is there's a lot of unknowns about this virus and this disease. So things are rapidly moving forward.
So I guess for pregnant women or women who may be pregnant shortly or are trying to have a family, you know, just really be extra wary of the mosquitoes till they sort this out. But,
Right.
You know, especially if you're traveling south.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I guess there is a benefit to our Chicago winters.
After all, yes.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it.
Yes.
I'm amazed these bugs survive the winter.
Yes, and you know, it's really amazing that, but they've been with us forever and probably gonna
Yeah.
always be here.
Yeah.
So we have to try to keep them at a level where it's not a nuisance or do not transmit some of these horrible diseases and really stay on top of it.
Wow.
One thing I did want to mention was that the President is calling a special conference with the CDC and the World Health Organization, some other experts on this, and they're going to meet in Atlanta at the CDC and go over some things about this virus because it really has the potential to be something very deadly. Yes.
Wow. Well, it's really very nice and informative to, you know, I appreciate you sharing this information with our residents.
Yes.
You know, so you've been doing this quite some time. You said 40 plus years?
Yes, I've been with the district 42 years to be exact.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Wow.
And I just would like the residents of Oak Lawn and all of the south suburbs to know our information. Our website is sccmad.com, and you can get information
on the
there.
screen too.
Okay, and we're going to have these sheets available. The third week of June, I believe it is, we have a National Mosquito Awareness Week where we are really pushing literature out for mosquitoes, awareness, what you can do as a homeowner or a business owner. The number at the district is 708-333-4120. You could give us a call if you have some concerns, if you think there's breeding near you, standing water, or if there's a water area you think might not be mapped out or known by us. Some areas are steadily developing. If there's construction, if there's something you think there's a concern or we need to look at, then we'll come out and take a look at it. If it warrants being put on our map or for us to continuously watch until the construction or whatever the situation is over, we'll do that.
That's wonderful.
Yes, but if you have a catch basin or any kind of area in your backyard, give us a call. We'll make sure you're on our list, and we'll be coming out at least once, maybe twice a summer with a slow release insecticide pellet so mosquitoes won't breed right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is such a vital service, and it's something most residents don't have any idea about. I was surprised when I received the literature. I was like, wow, I got to get you on Channel 4 to talk about it.
Yes.
Because I think people really will find this interesting. And, you know, as we start thinking of warmer weather, let's also start planning on making it safe in our backyards and in our communities. And that's fabulous.
Right.
Is there anything else we need to know? I think we covered so much.
I think that's it, Mayor.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for the invitation. And anything I can do in the future.
And,
Yes.
and let's think summer, and let's have a great summer, everyone. And thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.